If survival is non-negotiable, why not dignity too? So, everybody needs to poo. Everybody needs a toilet to poo in. It's a pretty obvious statement. A toilet is just a place to do business. But toilets are really unsexy, right? No one wants to talk about them, no one wants to think about them, and no one wants to fund them. But toilets are super interesting to me. I love talking about them because toilets are the great human leveller. There's nothing more equal than amongst the entire human being population than a toilet. So I grew up in Australia. My dad we're big on trades in Australia. We have carpenters, plumbers, bricklayers, we love them. My dad was a carpenter. I spent my entire young life on building sites. So I grew up seeing the world through a lens of infrastructure. But, pause on that, just because I'm the one up here talking doesn't mean I'm the one who's really clever behind the scenes. So there's a whole team of us doing stuff. So I spent a lot of time thinking a lot about what happens after poo exits stage south. A toilet is actually a human right. Human Rights Watch state that the manner in which a person is able to manage bodily functions of urination, defecation, and menstruation is at the core of human dignity. South Africa, we have a fabulous constitution, and it feeds into our legislation and policy, and it interprets access to water and sanitation as necessary for dignity and health. This is one of my favourite public artworks. It's in Diepsloot by a bunch of local artists who on Human Rights Day one year painted a bunch of human rights on the toilets, the communal toilets in Extension 1. Everyone has an inherent human dignity which must be respected. You have a right to live in a protected and healthy environment. South Africa's history of inequality has left many communities with unequal access to basic facilities and human rights, and toilets are no exception. Townships are originally segregated urban areas under apartheid, and today they remain densely populated with informal housing and limited access to sanitation. One such township is Diepsloot. So back in 2005, I had the privilege of attending the UIA Architects Conference to attend a program called Global Studio in Istanbul. It was a participatory design program for young built environment professionals led by Dr. Anna Rubo. And a couple of years later, in 2007, I was invited to help with the Johannesburg edition, where the city of Joburg asked us to work with the residents of Diepsloot. That project changed everything for me. This Aussie chick never left Johannesburg. Woohoo! Go Joburg! We love our city. It's big and dirty and we love it. I'm really lucky, actually, because I have made lasting friendships from colleagues and friends in Diepsloot that continue to live and enrich my life to this day. Because today, communities like Diepsloot are taking charge, turning sanitation into a space of dignity, action, and change. And plumbers, love our plumbers, are the quiet heroes behind this particular transformation. They understand better than anyone how important toilets are to the health of a city. So, of course, to me, it's a fabulous combination to have plumbers and active citizens. So this is Diepsloot, north of Johannesburg. And in this little section in here, the little blue section, that's Extension 1. There are 25,000 registered shacks in this small section. That doesn't include the non-registered shacks in between, but let's stick to 25,000 for the argument of data's sake. In that section, there are 642 toilets. That equates to 39 registered households per toilet. That's a lot of flushes. Imagine if you had 39 families pooing in the toilets of your house. No wonder the toilets in Diepsloot constantly break. Or indeed any township with the same situation, which is essentially most of them. We cannot have high-density cities if we cannot safely remove the human waste. Let's zoom out to Johannesburg for a bit. There's Diepsloot up the top there, a little blue section, just a very small section. There's approximately, or there's more than, debatable, the population of Johannesburg. In Johannesburg Metro, 6 million people. That's 6 million poops per day being flushed. Imagine if we cannot flush that poo away, our streets would be flowing with sewage and people would be really, really sick. Toilets are part of the whole urban infrastructure that makes cities healthy, livable, and functional. So back to Diepsloot. Meet the team of What's Up. They are a group of residents called Water Amenities Sanitation Services Upgrading Program. In 2007, back to the Global Studio again, a group of students from the Global Studio program engaged residents at the request of the City of Joburg. Over time, this morphed into a system to repair those 642 communal toilets. Nowadays, What's Up are now fully qualified registered plumbers, thanks to the South African Plumbers Institute, because plumbers are cool. They have what we call HQ, that's their headquarters, where they operate from, and residents come and report broken toilets and broken facilities. What's Up have shown and demonstrated over the last 12 years that community solutions work with or without government support. So What's Up learnt 2 lessons. Lesson 1 is that cyclical maintenance reduces costs. The more you cyclically maintain your system, the less it costs in the long run. And lesson 2, buy once, cry once. When you only use quality products. When you buy cheap, crappy products, they just don't last. And again, it costs more to maintain and repair toilets. So back to the poo. We know that the poo is important, but how do we fund it when toilets are so just not nice? We had to find a way to quantify the importance of the work in order to gain financial support. So we looked to some of the other examples around the world. So the World Bank's World Water and Sanitation Program, they have quantified that it costs $5.5 billion a year across 18 African countries, the lack of access to water and sanitation. That's health cost, time loss, and productivity cost. Another example was Housing for Health. It's an Australian program. They reduced hospital intake by 40% for environmental-related health issues. That's an enormous amount of savings. And they repaired environment around the house, including bathrooms, water and sanitation in normal household environments. It's such a big cost saving for the Australian government to reduce hospital intake by that amount, so much so that that provincial government adopted and rolled out that program widely across the state. So Health Habitat came to Diepsloot and helped us for a little bit. So it's common sense that there's a link between sanitation and health. But at the time, we didn't have enough data to make some sort of quantifiable figure between the health of residents of Diepsloot Extension 1 and sanitation. So we quantified the importance of What's Up's work by measuring water. We installed these meters across dozens and dozens of toilets, and we measured water loss for 4 years. The results were mind-boggling. 4,000 litres of water was saved per day per toilet when they were regularly maintained. To give you an idea what 4,000 litres looks like, that's 1,000 litres, made out of beer crates, of course, times by 4. Now, if you times that by 642 toilets over Diepsloot's Extension 1, that's 2 million litres of water that What's Up are saving every year in just that one small part of one small township in one city of South Africa. So imagine the potential savings across the whole of the city. And that doesn't even remotely touch the quantification of people's dignity. So active citizenship in partnering with many supporters is helping to bring dignity to the residents of Diepsloot, to people using communal toilets, as well as saving tons and loads and loads and loads of water. Because plumbers understand the importance of the role they play in healthy, livable cities, which is why the local and international plumbing communities are so supportive of these types of projects. In fact, globally, plumbers are doing some really cool stuff. Did you know that there's like a plumbing Olympics internationally? WorldSkills and WorldSkills Africa run these international trade competitions with bricklayers, hairdressers, plumbers, carpenters, welders, you name it, they have a competition. And South Africa actually won in 2022. South Africa's plumbers won in Namibia a couple of years back. Go South Africa. This is a WorldSkills event in Zambia 2 months ago as well. Keep an eye out for these things online. They are really cool events. They're supporting trades, and trades are critical to our economies and to the health of our cities. I wish are another one. I wish are an organisation that run an international community plumbing challenge. In fact, we held one in Dipsett, hosted one a couple of years back, where we had teams from USA, India, Australia and South Africa, and they competed to who could design, build and install the best possible toilet in Dipsett's Extension 1. There were no winners. We just decided we all won because the toilets were so amazing for everyone. And Mandela Day in Dipsett. So Mandela Day is an annual 67 minutes of service to communities honouring Nelson Mandela's legacy. So on Mandela Day, WhatsApp partners with Plumlink, a very large local plumbing supply company, and dozens of Johannesburg plumbing companies come to Dipsett to repair toilets on Mandela Day for 67 minutes. They usually stay the whole afternoon and we repair so many toilets. But the point is, people do care and they do act when there's a platform to do so. And I believe that active citizenship is the key. If all of us, almost everybody, does a little bit to contribute to this country that we love so much, and the more we do together and the more we work together, the more we can accomplish. There's a huge movement of active citizens working in their individual capacity and as collectors across the world. And in our communities, we are proud to be part of the community of poo. In fact, yesterday at TEDx, at the TEDx Sprint that you mentioned, and we're so excited about this, we talked about toilets and public toilets in the inner city of Johannesburg. But public toilets are a big thing. They're so visceral in so many ways. A whole room full of people have committed themselves to be part of a conversation that leads to action around public toilets and sanitation. I'd like to call it the Poo Brigade, but no doubt I'll be outvoted. And if you'd like to join the conversation, please get in touch and be part of the conversation, because when you go into the toilet, you go in with dignity, and when you come out of the toilet, you come out with dignity. Thank you.